Assalamu alaikum and welcome to a new video. Today I'm gonna take you to a journey to recognize one of the best traits of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which is kindness to the children. So our title is the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, teacher of all teachers, with the children, and how can we practice what he preaches in our relation to our teacher. So let's get started. But before starting, I want to ask my students that they should try to imagine that a president or a king visited you to ask about your health, despite the fact that you are a small boy and the visitor is a man of high position, is the ruler of a country, the king of the country, the first one in the country. You need to express your emotion. I hear that you say you will be happy and excited, and actually, and if I were you, I would be very happy, excited. I will be over the moon. So if the king or the president order you to do something to him, will you be happy to accept? Let's go to ask some other questions. Such act will increase your love for that man or not? And when you get old, you will forget that man or remember him forever? And actually, the most important thing, will you tell that story to all your friends as it was a great event in your life? And let me tell you, will that have a good effect on you forever? I think, as for me, I think if I were you, I will never forget that incident, and it will have a good effect on me forever. And I think people will not leave me. All the media will look for me to have interview, to ask me about that incident. All kinds of mass media will invite me to express my feeling about that. So now I give you a very good example from our wonderful history, from the history of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But let me tell you, who is Prophet Muhammad first. Prophet Muhammad is the greatest man who walked on earth, and the most superior one. No one is superior than a prophet. No king, no president, no a man of high responsibility. No one is superior than a prophet. And imagine the Prophet is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And you have to know that prophethood is the greatest status in terms of honor, sovereignty, and a high position. So no one is superior than the Prophet. And the Prophet now is the Prophet Muhammad. The Prophet Muhammad went to a small boy to comfort him. Why? Because the boy was having a bird or sparrow, and the sparrow was dead. So he was crying bitterly, and no one could stop him crying. So his brother Anas ibn Malik, one of the most famous companions of the Prophet Muhammad, that little boy, his name was Umayr, and Anas ibn Malik is his brother. So Anas, when he found his brother, his little brother, crying more and more, and no one could stop him, he went to the Prophet. Imagine that. And if you were that boy, my student, do you think that there will be somebody who will care for you? I think nobody will not be care for you except for some minutes, then he will leave you. Even your teacher, even your headmaster, even the closest people around you will not care. Even your mother, she will care a little, and she will see that you make the matter worse by crying more. But Anas ibn Malik went to the Prophet. So it is narrated in hadith that a hadith says a bird whose name was Umayr died. Umayr, a small boy, a brother to Anas ibn Malik, was saddened. The Prophet consoled him. Prophet went to him and consoled him. And you have to imagine, the boy, it is not the boy who went to the Prophet went to the boy to console him, asking, "Oh, Abu Umayr, what happened to Al-Nughayr?" So he called him by a nickname in order to comfort him more and more. This incident highlights the Prophet's kindness and care for even the small things. The teacher of all teachers visited that boy. He loves the children most and cares for them. Now, let me surprise you and let me show you how was the day of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, to know how busy he was without ministers, advisors or helpers. So although he has many tasks to do, he has some time for Muslim children. He was a messenger, a caller to Allah, a factual and spiritual leader of the Islamic State. He was teaching the companions Quran and decoding its meaning. He was teaching them wisdom, Sunnah. He was purifying the companions' thoughts and beliefs. He was a fighter, a warrior. He was a husband and a family supporter. He was imam in prayer. He was a judge and social reformer. He was a role model, as he had the most perfect qualities of a human being. And finally, at each night he spends a half of the night or more praying. Did you see anyone has many tasks like the Prophet Muhammad? Now, if you had a teacher who was very kind, caring, cheerful and loving, would you remember him forever? Because in our daily school life, a teacher like that can never be forgotten. So remember, what if this teacher was the Prophet Muhammad, who teaches us how to love our children, our parents, and our teachers? At the end, I give you some words to help you be kind and merciful. Love and kindness do wonders. So they say, let me love you first, then ask me anything to do for you. So love is the gate to wonderfulness. Whether you agree or not, please help me and tell me, if you could, tell me a story about that meaning with a teacher you love.